Welcome back. It's still with Sharon Osbourne and Katie Nicholl, and joining us is the former Royal Marine Ben McBean, who served in Afghanistan at the same time as Harry.
Okay.
And Conservative MP and Chair of the Defence Select Committee, Tobias Ellwood. And they're going to be talking primarily about Harry's boast that he killed 25 Taliban and called them chess pieces. Something which has not only enraged many of his former colleagues in the armed forces, but has also enraged pretty much the entire Muslim world. And who knows what repercussions may come from that stupid boast. It will still come tonight. Harry's truth has come a long way.
Well, duh.
And we'll be talking that in a moment. Sharon, let me just pick up with you, because you were directly involved in all this. This goes back to the Oprah Winfrey interview. And it's absolutely crystal clear in that interview what Meghan Markle was saying, supported by Harry. That someone in the royal family had expressed concern about the unborn baby's skin colour. And when probed by Oprah, if the skin colour was too dark, that would be a problem, Meghan Markle said, you may well deduce that, yes, right?
That doesn't make sense.
That became the biggest story of all these revelations, is that the family is racist.
Yes.
Now we're supposed to believe that's never what they intended. Harry says that, Trisha Goddard says it. There's now a kind of whole revisionist thing going on.
What?
But this had real consequences. I didn't believe it at the time, and I had to leave my job for just believing what was being said. You then had to leave your job.
Because I was supporting you.
Because you supported my right to free speech and didn't agree with me.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
Right? You had to go. What do you feel about this?
It's all just craziness going around and around, and he's turned his life and the royal family's life into a soap opera. It's like a really bad, distasteful
I mean, it's always been a soap
opera.
opera. I think what's different is it's always been speculative soap opera, right? You know,
Okay.
A part of the thing of the papers, he goes on and on and on in all these interviews and the book. I had to go through all this. The press are just evil, the devil, he calls them, all this kind of stuff. And yet the press, without the press, there wouldn't be a royal family.
No.
Well, duh.
Without the press doing predominant... I mean, I remember the coverage of his wedding. Couldn't have been more universally
Nicer.
praiseworthy.
It was
right?
beautiful.
He could barely bring himself to even acknowledge that. Right? This guy is so blindly hateful of the media.
Damn!
And British press in particular, even though he gets exactly the same coverage in many parts of the world. But when you... I mean, you haven't read the whole thing, I know, but I have. I've never read anyone high profile talk about their family like this.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
All of them.
Oh, I
His
know.
dad,
I know.
his
All of them,
stepmom,
I know.
his brother, his sister-in-law, the Queen's dresser cops it.
Yeah.
And there's a really bad bit in here, which I really disliked.
We do not care.
Which is very revealing about his character, where he trashes the matron at Lovegrove Prep School, who he names as Pat. He calls her greasy and ugly, didn't make the boys horny, right? And says that, just carries on disparaging her. She had a disability with her spine, which made her...
she had to walk
And
down
he
the
used to
stairs
mock
backwards.
her, mock the way she couldn't walk properly.
What the hell?
And he boasts about this. This is a guy who, on his website for Archewell, their foundation, describes as standing for compassion. Where's the compassion in any of this?
I think that, well, listen, I'm just hearing you picking up that story. And, I was reporting on Harry when he was falling in and out of nightclubs, getting into brawls with paparazzi. I mean, I remember speaking to the mother of one girl he was dating who said he really just was impolite. He was rude. He turned up drunk, was sick on him. They didn't want him around their girl, OK? And that was understandable. This is clearly a man who feels that he's gone through metamorphosis, a massive reinvention, and has come out on the other side. But what was so interesting, I felt, about watching the interview with Tom Bradby, and I think Bradby did a very robust, very good job with him. Was when
He didn't mention the Taliban.
No, but he brought up the
about
racist allegations as he rightly did. But it was very clear that when Harry was almost steered off into a zone where he wasn't comfortable, where he couldn't channel his therapy speak and everything else, he looked very uncomfortable. And I want to make just one quick point on these racism allegations. I think this is very important.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
when this turned into the biggest race row that this country's been in as long as I can remember.
Well, the biggest the royals have ever been.
And the most troubling storm for the royal family. Harry and Meghan came out and made it clear in a subsequent statement that they were not talking about the Queen or Prince Philip because, of course, this witch hunt ensued. That would have been an ample opportunity to have said, and by the way, this wasn't an allegation or a charge of racism, it was one of unconscious bias. Done.
I think what's happened is he realised too late, because there's a report when he tried to get the book withdrawn, that actually this was all going too far.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
I mean, the fact he hasn't mentioned that in here, the single most explosive revelation isn't in the book, nor is this supposed thing with the palace denying Meghan help for her suicidal thought.
Boy.
Oh, that's